Going live.
And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gem of Crypto, episode 684. Today is Thursday, March 18, 2021, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish, and today is a 10:30-ish day only because we have a very special guest with us today. Please welcome to the stage Bill Ottman, Mind CEO, social media site, and now ad mining extraordinaire.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Bill, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Bill was with us last, I think, back in 2019, talking about minds.com. Again, that's a social site, but we'll be going more into detail about that later. First and foremost, I know you all want to know about these crypto prices. So Bitcoin Zay, take us away.
Oh, yeah. So let's jump into these prices for today. Bitcoin at $57,935 is up 4.5%. Ethereum at $1,793 is up 1%. Cardano at $1.42, up 14.7% in 24 hours. Huge push there. Binance Coin at $264, up 4.9%. Polkadot at $36 is up 1.8%. Ripple still sitting at 47 cents, up 2.4%. Uniswap at 30.42, up 0.87%. Litecoin just a touch above that $200 mark, up 1.87%. And Chainlink at 29.68, struggling to get back over 30, down 0.96%. So again, a mixture of green and red, a lot of sideways movement. And if you're panicking at this point, and you need to get out of the market because a small dip is nothing to worry about, and we are in this long term. So looking good so far.
Oh, no worries, Bitcoin Zay. While you were gone yesterday, I took everyone to task about worrying about crypto or following celebrities around when it comes to it. So no worries there. Some quick shout outs. Notes from Jew, what's going on? Ashley Robos 001, Tessa Hall, Fanteezy, Leroy Forge, Lisa Lee, Shanette Johnson, Notes from Jew, Robert Kelly, Somo Vid, Marcus Howell, Kel Harris, Les Square, Italian Jr., Clarence Dennison, Seth Gata, Crypto Crawler, Helen Diva Style, Ron B, Carmelo, Cavs Credit, Easy 001. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you are all smashing that like and share as we get started. Before we jump into Bill's, we let Bill take it away to give us an update of what's going on with Minds. We do have to give you this top story of the day. Crazy news, as Bitcoin Zay just said. It's no reason to worry about price when these are the headlines. Morgan Stanley introduces Bitcoin investing for millionaire clients. That is right. You heard me right. Morgan Stanley introduces Bitcoin investing, not for you regular Joe Schmoes out there, but only for the millionaire clients. Like this story, I love this story because it does so much for what we say about the narrative of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in this space, and how these banks and institutions are trying to steal it. This is the perfect reason. This is to me like the inflection point of them trying to steal it. Public Bitcoin acceptance continues to grow as Morgan Stanley provides another on-ramp for mainstream capital. Again, this looks like the investment bank, a giant in wealth management with $4 trillion in client assets, told its financial advisors Wednesday, an internal memo that is launching access to 3 funds that enable ownership of Bitcoin, according to people with direct knowledge of the matter, none other than CNBC reported. You can see those 3 different funds here. But what's even more interesting about this allocation is that it will be capped at only 2.5% of each client's overall wealth. So I love it. Even as a millionaire client, you cannot decide if you want to put in more than 2.5% of your overall wealth. They will not allow you to do it. Clients must also carry accredited investor status, hold capital at Morgan Stanley valuing $2 million or more, and maintain a certain account history. That minimum raises to $5 million for investment firm clientele. Each fund comes with minimum investment conditions, CNBC noted. And pardon me, people, I didn't have this article up. I'm just reading it right now. Again, this is what we are talking about. If this is the precedent, if this goes without being noticed and reported on, I am telling you now, another year or two, this will be the norm. If you're not an accredited investor, you cannot invest in Bitcoin. We have been telling people this since we caught wind of it in 2016 and 2017. As we said, like the likes of Coinbase were restricting accounts. Or
Dirty Mac.
Bank of America was sitting us down in their office like we were school children to take us to task about buying Bitcoin. That is when we knew that not only were we on to something, but they are only trying to service wealthy clients. And this is, I mean, they're coming out and saying it. Yeah, if you're not rich, keep it moving. How is this even possible? And again, it's crazy to see that you have this entire industry where there's no barrier to entry. Anyone can go buy Bitcoin, but now they're creating these barriers of entry. Now you need to be an accredited investor. Now you need to have at least $2 million in an account, and you can only put 2.5% of that into an account. Again, crazy to me, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Bitcoin Zay?
Oh man, so let's take a look at what these hall monitors continue to do with Bitcoin. Look at this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But at least for now, the bank is only allowing its wealthier clients access to the volatile asset. The bank considers it suitable for people with an aggressive risk tolerance who have at least 2 million in assets by the firm, like you said before. This is crazy to me simply because, as you said, we're talking about adults here, and they're telling you what's suitable, what's good for you. And again, people like us, we front ran all of these wealthy clients. So the access to it is there. I don't even know why you would listen to these rules, but because Morgan Stanley is good for people who want to still be involved with the legacy financial system, this undoubtedly is a big news story. And the funds that jumped in, Galaxy Bitcoin Fund, NYDIG, having their minimum investments of 25,000. And then other ones that have a $5 million minimum. This is just par for the course. Anybody that tries to invest in these type of vehicles, you're going to have rules. Bitcoin was made to do the opposite. So we'll see how it shakes out. I don't think it'll have a big impact on us individually, but on these wealthy people may have a little bit. We'll see. Small exposure.
And I'm glad they brought that credit investor status, because this kind of goes to you, Bill, and what you see. I'm about to bring up your website here on minds.com. What kind of demographics do you see? Can you kind of readily tell that, hey, there's a lot of institutional investors, or are there retail investors? I saw an article today come out that said, for the first time, like essentially retail investors are starting to outpace the buying of institutions. I'm assuming those stimmies has something to do with it. But what are your thoughts on what you see with your demographics?
I mean, mostly retail for sure. But in our original user base has been journalists, content creators, and crypto enthusiasts. But, just to mirror some of what you were saying, I think the Morgan Stanley stuff is very important news. But I want to see who's going to be the bank that comes out and announces, hey, look, we're actually trying to bring retail in to Bitcoin. We're going to be, for accounts with small balances, we want to, put some of your savings account into Bitcoin so that you can actually make some money and not.
I like that idea as well. We've been talking about that recently. I've been telling everybody, like, hey, every time I have a couple of dollars or a buck or two or some change on Cash App, I like instantly convert it to Bitcoin. Now it's not even a second thought. Like, oh, I'm not keeping this in cash. Like I'm wasting money at this point.
It's just interesting how they act like they're trying to protect small investors, but they're doing the opposite. The best thing that small investors could do is start to get a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin.
There you have it, folks. Yep. What did you have, Bitcoin Zay?
I would say somebody commented, "We're not going to take it." We're going to have to start singing that.
That's the theme song. I had to sing it yesterday. That is definitely the theme song of this show. We are not going to take it, people, especially when it makes no sense. Like literally, Vitalik Buterin made Ethereum at the age of 17, but you're telling accredited investors who are millionaires you can't buy more than 2.5% of your overall wealth. I mean, hey, at least I would say that I want to say that's some good investment advice, but at this point, it's just wrong. I mean, we've seen there's been wrong investment
advice.
There is some good momentum happening, with like what's going on with equity crowdfunding. They just increased the cap from $1 million to $5 million.
5 million.
Minds actually did equity crowdfunding round back in 2017. We raised $1 million from like 1,500 members of the community. So we're partially community owned. So that's like, I think progress is being made. So it's all good.
I'm glad you said that. We're going to jump on this Twitter article and then right after go to what's going on with the updates, because it looks like Twitter is getting an update, but this is definitely one of you guys' somewhat competitors, I guess. But Bitcoin can be sent with a tweet as BottlePay Twitter app goes live. What is going on with this, Bitcoin Zay? I know you're the king of Twitter over there, so you go ahead and take this one away.
Oh, yeah. So now Twitter users can send Bitcoin with a single tweet after digital payments app BottlePay launched this integrated Bitcoin social media feature. And one of the things they did to use it, or did to promote it, was use Twitter, of course. They describe itself as a global payments disruptor, and they recently raised $15 million at the end of February. The BottlePay app can be used with other social media platforms like Reddit, like Discord, and the beta version of the app reportedly has 20,000 users without marketing and processed a little over 2.4 million worth of transactions in just over a month. So BottlePay's integration with Twitter, we'll see if it takes off. I've seen other integrations with Twitter where people tried this and kind of fell by the wayside. But again, we have Bill here from Minds who has been doing it all along. So you don't need a plugin like this.
Exactly. And and before we let Bill take it over, it's crazy because when I saw that story, you just said something that was my first thought too. I was like, is this actually going to work? I really thought of that too, because I was just like, I get where you're going with it, but I feel like it's still more work on the back end that needs to be done for all these APIs to connect safely and securely and still be efficient. So again, I guess we'll see. But again, folks, if you're just now joining us, want to reintroduce Bill Ottman, who's here with us, the CEO and co-founder of Minds. And he's here to talk about how they're disrupting digital ads with crypto and a new feature called ad mining. Again, Bill has been with us before back in 2019, so he's rejoining them. And this is all part of Mind's new DeFi functionality, which was released recently this week on March 16 via integration with Uniswap. So I just said
Congrats.
a lot of buzzwords.
Congrats.
First congrats.
Congrats, Bill.
It was a lot of work. It feels good.
I was like,
you know,
I mean, Uniswap's an incredible project, and it's really just making waves. And so to be basically what we're doing. So traditionally, for anyone who doesn't know, you can earn tokens on Minds for the engagement that you receive on your post, and then you can use those tokens to boost your post. One token is sort of soft pegged to 1,000 views, and that's been great. People love that because they hate having their reach restricted on, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube because the algorithms are all out of control. But now what we're doing is basically expanding the reward system so you earn for engagement, holding, and for participating in the liquidity pool. And as you participate in the liquidity pool, you earn a proportional share of free advertising along with your share of the liquidity pool. So if you have 1% of like the Minds ETH pair, then you're just going to get 1% of rotation in this new boost spot on the main news feed. So I don't know how active you guys have been in, getting involved in liquidity programs on Uniswap, but it's a huge way to contribute to the sustainability of the token and the network. And, traditionally we've allowed tokens to be used to boost your post either on chain or off chain, but the gas fees are pretty crazy these days. So now that you can just stake into the liquidity pool and then your channel just gets boosted proportionally to how much you put in, it's, it minus impermanent loss that happens on Uniswap. It's essentially like, it's not free advertising, but it's like you're not giving us any money for the advertising. So that's why we're calling it ad mining. So there's token rewards along with the liquidity provisions, along with this like advertising reward.
Okay. And you mentioned, first of all, very cool. And again, congratulations. And a great point. Last time we had Bill on was in 2019. We always say in this space, people give it 2 years, give it 2 to 3 years and see what develops. And 2 years later, you're coming back with ad mining. So I think that's pretty cool to see. But as you mentioned, you do have a lot of retail investors on your platform. So how much would the average content creator expect to possibly spend on staking to ensure that they're at, that they are kind of getting toward the top of, I guess, the content creators out there?
I don't know an exact number. I mean, what we're seeing is like right now there's in the Minds ETH pair, there's like 1.7 million of liquidity and the token is 81 cents. And we're seeing a lot of people throw in like a few $100 into the staking, and they're getting views for it. I think that, it really, we have 4 million monthly visitors, like anywhere between 300 and 500K, like core active users. And so you can kind of put the numbers together yourself. But the thing is, like for smaller social networks like us, it's all about access to the people who are on the network. Like, Facebook has billions of users, but when you post, you'll get 2 likes, even if you have like 100,000 followers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're out, their news feed doesn't even show your own friends, your posts. So when you have like a tighter knit community where everybody has access to the community and there's no restrictive algorithms, you can essentially get greater reach on a smaller network.
Mm-hmm. I love that word too, restrictive algorithms, that phrase, I should say, simply because with your website, the onus is on the First Amendment, the ability to speak as much as you want about whatever you want, minimize taking away people's ability to speak. Could you speak to that, about how you plan to have a social media group that when it grows, that they can still speak freely, unlike some other platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about consistency, and no major social network really has consistent terms. No one knows what's okay. You get banned for some post about crypto one day. You get banned for, saying learn to code. You get banned for all these ridiculous things. And what people don't realize is that censorship actually can fuel polarization and violence. So what we're basically saying is that you minimize hate speech and global divide through free speech, even though, yeah, sure, there's some jerks out there who are going to abuse the system a little bit, but we don't allow threats of violence or anything like that. So it's First Amendment based. I think we all know that the First Amendment works pretty well. The US has one of the healthiest societies in the world for discourse. People all over the world value the free expression that we have in the US, and it works pretty well. So yeah, you can see right there, those are the different ways that you can earn. You earn just for holding. And then we also have Bitcoin support in the tipping component as well. Gotta be carrying the Bitcoin flag along with the Minds token and ETH flag. But what's your guys' stance in the whole kind of are you agnostic? Are you maximalists? Are you in multiple worlds?
For myself, multiple worlds, for trading purposes, but Bitcoin maxi as far as investing as of now, at least until we figure out what's going on with the SEC and gang over here.
Yeah, definitely maxi, I guess, long term, but open to everything because there's so many different technological advancements. Like, how could you stop at Bitcoin and then not go anywhere else? So that's where I'm at.
This is we've considered like some sort of SAT reward system where we can integrate that with the engagement rewards, but like
Lightning Network.
If anyone that you can, if you can refer anyone that's doing successful Satoshi reward systems, I would love to talk to them. But for us, we're trying to reward value to users who bring energy to the network. So, in having a tool like a token to quantify that value and give it to the user, and we wouldn't even be able to afford it if we were just giving everybody Bitcoin and it could potentially get abused. So I do think that a value quantification mechanism for the creators is important, and it does seem like we had a whole centralized point system like 5 years ago before Ethereum even started taking off, and so our current token was actually a migration from just like an in-game digital currency. And then we migrated it over. So, I do think that in-game, in-app reward systems are hugely beneficial because people are getting treated like crap on most big sites.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have a pseudo account. One of our warriors asks, how would mines vary from Hyper?
I don't know Hyper. Are you familiar with
let
them?
us know. That's how pseudo. He don't even know Hyper. They're not even in the mix right now.
Hyper. What's that?
Right. So my first question is, what made you think of going toward ad mining? I mean, it always interests me in this space because these are so new and novel ideas, no matter where you turn, technologically new as well. ad mining is something very new to the world in general, and is, especially here in the crypto digital space. So what made you think of doing ad mining, and then I guess the integration? How was that process? Can you let us know about that?
So here's the thing, like mainstream social networks use surveillance to advertise to you. What you're seeing, you just like watch it on TV. I don't know. It's like
I'll say something out loud and then Instagram post will pop up.
Yes, that happens, and they deny it. I don't know
how. I said diapers one time, and then diaper ad was there. I was like, you can't deny that because
we know the mic's on.
Yeah, exactly.
So because you can use it for voice activated whatever. And so look, they'll continue to deny it. We don't do any surveillance with our advertising. We would never spy on people. All of our code's fully open source. But this idea of ad mining kind of came like in the liquidity mining space in Ethereum and on Uniswap. There's a lot of just like nonsense. It's just sort of earning tokens for the sake of tokens, and there's no intrinsic value for what you're doing. So for us, we're saying like, if providing liquidity is valuable to the ecosystem, but what we're going to do is give you views for doing that as well. And views have real world tangible value. I mean, typically like 1,000 views on a social network, if you're going to pay for advertising, it's like $5 or $10. So we're saying, look, we really value the people who are going to contribute to the token system and to the site. And so, ad mining sort of is a derivative from liquidity mining, but like we're actually giving you real value for providing liquidity, not just like, farm tokens, like some like vegetable. Have you seen a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, I got broccoli coin and squash potatoes. You're like, what?
Speaking of that liquidity in that coin, so is this coin, the Mine coin, that's a newly launched token itself?
It was launched back in early 2018, sort of right in the darkness of the winter, crypto winter. But so we transitioned from our internal virtual currency to Ethereum because we just wanted to provide more transparency, give people more control, let people actually sovereignly hold in their own wallets the value that they create on the network rather than our servers. So there were all these good reasons to do it. But then, now with the rise of Uniswap, we've really been able to directly integrate that into the reward system. So if you check out mines.com/token, you can see that. But also I recommend, going into your wallet on Mines, connecting your Bitcoin address so that people can tip you in Bitcoin as well.
This is and I also noticed relogging on to this is no longer open. I remember it used to be where you could just click on mines.com and you're on the site, if I remember correctly. Now it looks like you have to actually log in. How has that worked as far as more users coming on board and everything? And I'm assuming you do it because you have the wallet feature here.
We're probably going to be changing that back, to be honest, but a lot of it had to do with spam and just like, But I want to change that back so that there's more of a logged out like guest mode. But if you click on the tokens tab on top under the search bar.
There it is. I was looking for it. So there we go.
And then so you can connect your wallet here. And then if you click settings, nice. You go to, settings right below.
Right there. Oh, there it is. Boom.
Yeah. You can see you set up Bitcoin address right there.
Oh, nice.
But you can connect whatever wallet you want, and you'll start earning. So we should hook up after and make sure we get you guys some promo for the podcast. You see Scale is on here. We're using them for layer 2.
Right, I saw that as well. And just for
scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, I just added them as a friend.
Just for those out there listening, I know, right? Just for those out there listening as well. Once again, if you're just now joining us, this is Bill Ottman, Mine CEO. He's talking to us about ad mining. But for the average person listening, what can the elevator pitch? What is Mines? Who should be logging on to Mines and why they should be using it?
If you're a creator, if you have anything any content you're trying to get out there, trying to use a social network that respects your freedom, your privacy, you can actually earn money. We have a whole cash tab as well. So you can earn fiat and crypto. but for all the engagement you earn, we're just trying to respect people, respect principles of free speech, privacy, sovereignty of your earnings, and we just want to help creators. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and granted, like there's so much good that has come from mainstream social media. And, you know, there's great designers, but there's just something that is corrupt that is going on. And I don't even understand, because it really confuses me. Because look, I know like Dorsey is a big fan of Bitcoin. He's done a lot for it. But I just don't understand why more of those values can't get reflected in the Twitter platform.
Yeah.
I honestly,
especially from a speech standpoint.
I would say, and it's funny you said that when you said mainstream social media sites, because it's crazy. We're in a world now where we have mainstream social media sites. Then you have like the likes of yourself, which are coming in to disrupt that. You have Minds. What's another one? It's another one I'm thinking of.
Gab, I think it's one.
They just got hacked super hard.
I saw. Yeah.
So, you know, tread
So we're not going to mention
carefully.
them.
But you've got like Hive, you know, in the blockchain
Hive,
space, yeah. You've got let's see. There's
used to have Steam. I don't know.
Yeah, Steam forked into Hive. You've also got Library. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah, we got Library.
But you know, there's more solutions, and there's also the Fediverse. There's like Mastodon. I don't know if you've heard of them. They have kind of heard of them. Federated protocol where.
Sorry, we don't have to give them any promo.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I'm saying unless it's one of yours.
No, I mean, I just like to. You know, I'm not one who likes to shill. I don't even like to pitch my own product, to be honest. I like to just build and have it be something that helps people. I'm almost like allergic to pitching in the startup world. I think that everyone's just trying to convince you to use their thing. And, you know, at the end of the day for us, it's like, look, we give away all our code for free. Anyone can make their own app with our code if they want to. And we're just trying to build a more ethical model for social media, and a lot of people are finding value in it. It's, but you know what I mean? Like that psychology of pitching, like how it makes
I hate it too.
Not want it.
Yeah, I mean, and the way that your app, when you say it's open source and you can build your own, I think that's great, because at that point you're basically telling people it's like, I want to be the one to have an app, but this is open for everybody else. Much like Bitcoin and other things, open source code, people can see it. And just the stuff that is on the platform, I'm thinking I'm gonna create a social media site called Hate Speech. It's just gonna be everybody hates on each other. Everything you hate about everything, just get it out over here. You know what it is.
Brilliant idea.
When you show up, you know what it is. So if you complain, our customer service is going to
with smoke.
So I'm gonna go look at the open source code. I'm gonna create Hate Speech. Y'all be on the lookout for that.
Well, here's the thing about that, like
haters ball.
the evidence. There's actually lots of research on what happens when you censor hate speech. It just, like, the internet is like this, it's a web. So people just pop up over somewhere else. You think that you ban somebody from Twitter and then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to stop being a dick. Like, no, they go somewhere else and they become more of a dick, and it gets into their head and they think that they're a victim. And sometimes they'll even get violent. Like, we need society to have this like social ventilation system to get their tension out. You know, you got to express it in like verbal. You know, if we're not using our words, we're probably using our fists. So you know, it's not
get out.
Like Patrice O'Neill said, I like hate speech.
And answer I think is going back to social media sites. Why aren't they carrying that same like ethical behavior over? I honestly think they get so big, they get the tap on the shoulder, and the government is like, this is how you're going to proceed or else. I truly feel it's like that, because like you said, a lot of these people with values that we even met personally or talked to personally, it's like, wait, this isn't your business. And they're like, yeah, but this is the business. So it's super weird seeing that. So I hope as you all continue to grow and get bigger and you get millions, if not a billion or so subscribers and everything, you don't get that tap when it's like, all right, Bill, you've done enough.
I don't think it's the government making the tap, but there's definitely some forces at play behind the scenes giving the tap. I mean, Twitter used to say that their slogan was free speech wing of the free speech party. And then, you know, Dorsey a few years ago came out and said, oh, that was a joke, actually.
Sure.
So yeah, no, the odd thing in the US is that the corporations are doing more censorship than the government itself. Very different from other countries around the world.
The corporations are trying to get their stake in the land first before they start letting other people do it. Which is crazy. As well, those social media sites was like, you can't mention crypto at the end of 2017. You can't have anything crypto going on. And then 2020 rolls around. They're like, all right, we got our own crypto services. Y'all can start and try to compete now. So that's life. Pseudonymous 69. I can't even say these words. Pseudonymous $69 million Beeple NFT buyer Metacoben reveals true identity. That is right. Vignesh Sundaresan said he wants to show Indians and people of color they could be art patrons too.
Man, you ain't need to spend 69 million to prove that.
Listen, no, I will give him a hand clap and say,
shout out
because listen, shout out Metacoben, the hitherto pseudonymous buyer of the $69.3 million Beeple non-fungible token NFT last week, has come out in the open. The investor revealed his true identity as Vignesh Sundaresan via a blog post on the Purser website Thursday. He said the point of revealing himself was to show Indians and people of color that they too could be patrons, that crypto was an equalizing power between the West and the rest. Oh, is that how they look at it? Oh my goodness. And that the global South was rising. Don't say words like that. That inflames gang. We don't want them to be inflamed. But again, this is Metacoben. He appeared on CoinDesk's TV's First Mover to explain those reasons and why he chose to remain anonymous. He is also the CEO of Singapore consulting firm Portkey Technologies and co-founder of Bitcoin ATM provider BitAccess, which kind of make more sense as to why he's in the space. But I will say, well done, because if he didn't come out, not that I was actually sitting at home thinking, oh, I wonder what race was a $69 million painting bought from. Like, who cares? But yeah, I wouldn't thought it was just I guess it's not random, but I wouldn't have thought it was this Indian CEO who bought this $69 million painting. I guess if you had to put a gun in my head and said, guess his race, I wouldn't guess Indian. So I will say, if that were his true reason to put on for the show, push the line, like Indians in here too, you have definitely done it. We see you. We know Indians have money. I'm with it.
Oh yeah, and art brings everybody. So that's a great way to get the word out. NFTs are bringing people from everywhere. So I love it. Indians. Rep your set. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Bill, what type of, what are you all seeing when it comes to NFTs and on minds.com? Are there more articles or content popping up for it? Is there more videos popping up for it?
We have huge demand to support NFTs. And we have a massive artist and musician community. Honestly, most of our users are artists, I would say. It's one of our largest demographics, but people have been very psyched about NFTs. And granted, look, it's weird. Like, no one knows why it makes sense. But in the same way, in the physical art world, no one knows why it makes sense. Why is some random dot on a canvas worth, $100 million? That's just life. That's that's what humans do. I don't know. So, it's happening with NFTs. And if that can help empower content creators more, basically, like, because you can connect your crypto address to Minds, what can happen is your whole, once we finish this integration, all the NFTs associated with your address will appear. And so you sort of have this on-chain social graph and like this on-chain system of the identity and then the NFTs, and people can be tipping, and the actual media can be stored on decentralized file systems, and there's a lot of cool stuff happening with it.
Yeah, I can see it looks like your volume in the last 24 hours is up 630%. So it must be something cool going on with that ad money.
Yeah, I want to pump up your podcast on the app. So let's make sure we rock that out.
For sure. I love
Absolutely.
it. And last but certainly not least, NFTPs hitting bottom. Charmin joins in on the latest crypto craze. People, we are in 2017 all over again. Literally. This was blockbuster Long Island iced tea, and the rest of them with that blockchain stimulus package. It looks like the new stimulus package for 2021 is not the pandemic relief. No, we are not here for COVID. We are here for the NFT stimulus package. It is in full effect. It's been going on for a little bit. It looks like the second round of checks are out and the companies want in on it too. Institutions said those stimulus checks just aren't for retail investors. They are for accredited. That is right. The non-fungible token market isn't limited to digital sports collectibles and art connoisseurs. Big brand names are getting in on the action too. What is going on with Charmin?
Oh yeah. So Charmin listed 5
so
different
funny.
versions of this non-fungible toilet paper, or NFTP. Whoever's in marketing just got a raise, for sale on Wearables Marketplace today. The NFTPs feature decorated toilet rolls and include images of the brand's family of bear mascots. Direct Relief, which is a nonprofit organization, will get all of the proceeds. And again, we're starting to see this as well. NFTs used to donate to nonprofits. So that's a good use case as well. And they provide resources to medical professionals in disaster affected areas. The funny thing to me is that this is actually going to be, the toilet paper said each NFTP will be sold with a physical display for crypto users to hang the artwork in the bathroom next to their real, slightly more fungible toilet paper. Hey man, if I pay for this, I'm using it. I don't want. I want
That first one's pretty cool.
Hey, I want to see what this decorated toilet paper can do.
You can use the virtual toilet paper here in Decentraland, and no, I'm just playing.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool though, that it is a physical display where you don't have to use it. But the price right now is about 1 wrapped Ethereum, which is roughly about 1,800. And even with some stores still restricting the sale of toilet paper, that is a very expensive roll. So again, somehow we started off this pandemic with people running to the store to buy toilet paper, and it looks like we're about to finish it off with people buying toilet paper NFTs. I mean, it comes full circle, doesn't it? History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So good to see there. And again, NFTPs, great name, love it.
Speaking of NFTPs and NFTs in general, a couple of questions. Glad you have you on today. One of the questions I showed everyone, I'm not sure if you saw, I made a Breakfast Club NFTs. Did you see those?
No,
I know you've been on the road, so I'll bring those up. But I made some, Jim Jones was on the Breakfast Club. He was talking about NFTs. Someone in the comment section said somebody should make one of the Birdman one. I made the NFT for it already. I made a bunch of them. But someone was asking, how do they handle copyright? That's a Breakfast Club NFT I made. How is that handled in copyright? And then the second thing is, can someone make duplicates? How does it stop the Breakfast Club from making the same clips as an NFT? How does that work?
Yeah, copyright is the thing that's getting pushed under the rug in this whole conversation. I think people are getting really excited about it, but the token itself is not. It has a reference in the metadata to the media, but the media itself, like the image or whatever, is not. That's on a separate server somewhere, whether it's a decentralized server or a centralized server. So, there's going to be those articles are coming. Watch. And once things die down a little bit, they're going to be like the hidden copyright nightmare of NFTs. Like that's going to happen.
Oh yeah. That and IPFS, the file storage system, the fact that anybody can access it on the back end, you don't actually own it. For some people, they don't even understand. There's going to be a wave of people who get their NFT tokens taken if they don't address IPFS. But I mean, again, you're right. A lot of people don't know yet. A lot of hype, but we'll see.
Well, the token's not on the media is on IPFS, right?
Well, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I know. People need to be really cognizant. Like we have a whole integration with Arweave. They're like a decentralized content storage system, and people like whether you're talking whatever blockchain you're talking about, this is immutable. Post to it, you do a transaction, that transaction is there and it's not going anywhere. So, when you create an NFT, depending on where the actual media is stored, it's not going anywhere. It's on a blockchain. So, but this is the new world we're moving into. It's sort of like a permanent world, which is scary. And there's definitely consequences, but there's huge benefits as well.
So and that's why I made I made sure I tell you about yesterday, to illustrate, I put them for sale. If they sell, cool. They don't, whatever. But someone asked that yesterday. They were like, well, what about copyright and all that? And that was my basic thing. I was just like, you all are very new to the space. Like, this is the Wild West, people. They can't control that just yet. That hasn't been figured out. Does it need to be figured out? For sure. And the other thing I said, because it's like, hey, what if the actual, let's say Charmin makes their NFTs, what they do in Rarible? What is stopping, again, a competing company from going on OpenSea and doing the same Charmin NFTs, because it'll be on a different platform type of deal. So a lot of questions to be answered.
Well, it's like in the meme world, like, you know, memes, people don't really care about copyright in the meme because it's all like remix culture. So, and but you just look, if you're making that stuff, just like respect other people's content. Like, don't use stuff that's not yours, like at the end of the day. And because there's so much like Creative Commons content out there, and there's so much stuff in the public domain that you already can use. Like, and here's the thing, if you mint an NFT with someone else's stuff, like that could come back to you. So you just kind of want to be careful what you're doing as you're creating NFTs.
Yeah, might be in court 10 years from now for something that you did for copying what you thought was.
Yeah.
Hey, that fine money.
I know one thing, you better not make a Marvin Gaye NFT, because their family does not play. They literally will end your career. You try to sample his music without. So I'm not making a Marvin Gaye NFT. Tell you that.
Well, just know, people, if you do copy and make someone else's NFT, you have to actually get paid on it first for anything to really come down on you, or else they're chasing the ghosts. All right. And before we get out of here, this was a great question. I think is a good one to end on. We were asked, what does Minds, if anything, do about the hate speech or any type of, content that is kind of, that isn't becoming of a community?
So we have like really robust filtering tools for NSFW content, profanity, and all that. But we also have a jury system so that the users can kind of get involved with helping vote on the outcome of content. Twitter actually, ironically, launched a similar feature to this called Birdwatch. But the problem is that their Twitter's terms are restrictive in nature. So again, hate speech. So we partnered with Daryl Davis on our de-radicalization initiative. Are you guys familiar with Daryl at all?
You
got to check out Daryl. So he's a black man who de-radicalized over 200 members of the KKK.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I know. Daryl.
You know Daryl, dude. I told he got your book, Zay.
Oh,
that was me. Sorry, I have this Roadcaster. I didn't mean to do that.
That was hilarious. I was like, "What's going on in the background?"
No,
he got your book, Zay.
Yeah, no. I told him. I sent him his first Bitcoin. I was like, "Dude, you got to check out this book, Bitcoin Black America." And he got it. And if you ever want him to go on your show, I can definitely link you up.
Yes. Set that up ASAP, please.
Uncle Ruckus, and we get Uncle Ruckus on here, man.
Yeah, that would be great. He's actually an amazing blues musician as well. But anyway, we're working with him to sort of like digitize his strategy. Like, he's talking with all different kinds of crazy extremists, racists all the time. And he's emailing them. He's like getting to know them. They all leave because at the end of the day, like it's a long process for people to change. But like people who think like that have like mental illness. Like banning them from the platform is not the way that you make the world a better place. It's just, it doesn't work. So look, we're taking a longer approach, and we're over the next 10 years actually going to be tracking voluntarily submitted data from people who have changed their minds. And we're going to be able to prove that we facilitate greater rates of de-radicalization than Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Because guess what? If you ban people, you can't change their mind. You ban them, they will never get better. So, they're basically ensuring that people are going to keep going down their, ideological rabbit hole. So anyway, that's a long-winded way of answering, but we deal with it by actually dealing with it, not just like pushing it under the rug.
I think that's great. I'm with you on that. I've been to many websites where supposedly, it's a lot of alt-right and all that good stuff. But with a lot of those people, I mean, sometimes they are educated. Sometimes, they do change your mind. And I think it's a cool thing that you're doing to actually track that process to see, because if you start getting this, I mean, I'm sure you already know why you're doing it. Once you get the stats and the data on that, I mean, oh, this is the social media site where people can actually, you know, discourse and change their mind and all that. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
super
And
cool.
I want to use that data to prove my point that public accumulation works. And when those people say what they want to, and over time, people just keep disagreeing with them. That's usually how people start thinking, change. If everybody disagrees with me, let me see what they have to say. So yeah, I would love that data.
All right. Other than that, that is the show for today. I want to thank Bill Ottman for being on again. Much appreciated. Again, this is Minds.com CEO. They're just introducing ad mining, staking, liquidity, using Uniswap. A lot of good things are going on over there for content creators or people who just want to consume good content without all the restrictions you see on Facebook, Twitter, and some of the likes like that. Bitcoin Zay, do you have anything for us?
Community Crypto today at 5 p.m. Eastern. Talk Shop Live Sunday at 6 p.m. Giving away 1 million Satoshis.
There it is, 1 million Satoshis. I guess we'll end on a joke. Realms Ball said, "What's wrong with AOL Instant Messenger?" The problem is that you have a bunch of old people sitting in their underwear talking to a bunch of young people getting out of middle school. All right, that is the show for today. Bill, thanks again for being here with us. Minds.com CEO.
Thank you,
And
Bill.
again, make sure you all smash that like, smash that share, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.